Okay. Welcome to this edition of RIMPAGE Live. Katerina, happy new day to you.
Oh, happy new day, Patrick. It's wonderful to see you.
Thank you. So in this platform, this format, we expand on RIMPAGE's founding principles, because those principles of empowerment transcend the basketball court. And so here we get to have fun with that and talk about how we can apply that elsewhere. And we elaborate and ultimately we empower. So
Mm.
today, Katerina, what are we talking about today?
Ooh, we are talking about how to make big changes in our lives. We all crave some sort of transformation into becoming a bigger version of ourselves. We essentially want to become a bigger version of ourselves when we become aware of a certain dream or a goal that we have to achieve, that we want to expand into that version. And we're aware that that will require us to do something in a different way. And sometimes we focus on that gap is too big to
Right,
achieve at once, and we
right.
think we might even give up or we might even not try because we think this
Intimidated.
might be too huge for me to attempt. So we're going to talk about how our thoughts, how one thought can change all of that, right?
Ah,
How does
love
that
it. I
sound to
love it. I love it. You know, when you said sometimes you were talking there, the word that came to mind was intimidated. Sometimes we
you,
we
right?
see what we want to be and it seems so far away and it seems so much higher and we get intimidated. But
Yes, it
with
seems
your approach,
daunting.
we can actually start moving towards it. So
Hmm.
let's talk about that, how we can start moving towards it.
Great. Um, by assuming that change isn't complete in one moment like that, right? Knowing that certain amount of effort and work will be involved to get
Yes.
from point A to point B, let's
Mhm.
say that, right?
Yes. Yes.
And being willing being willing is the first little adjustment that we need to make, right? If we stubbornly think that this isn't possible for me, then we really
Right.
affirm to ourselves that is not possible
Yes.
for us,
Yes.
right? So the
Right.
first adjustment to make is, okay, today I'm going to test this.
Uh-huh.
Today I'm going to become aware of what I heard Katarina and Patrick talk about for weeks on end now,
Hmm.
that I can just give myself permission to assume that
Yes. Yes.
I can change my thinking just for one day. Just
I
being
like that.
willing, right?
I like that.
that's the
The
that's the
the
first.
and I think what we're saying is just be open. Just be
Yes.
like you can think of it as you have a visitor who comes to your house and the visitor knocks on the door and you look out the peephole at the visitor and you say, "Oh no, bad news," and you reject him before he's even spoken. And so what
Yes.
we're saying is just
Yes.
open the door and listen. That's it.
Absolutely.
That's a small thing. Just be open to the
Yes.
possibility that something different can occur.
Yes. I can give you another example. Previous version me used to be reluctant to open certain envelopes because I would think
Oh,
this is bad news coming from a certain
yes,
place, right?
yes.
And I wouldn't open it for weeks. I would keep that envelope sitting. Now I have now those kind of news are communicated with us through emails. And if I catch myself
Ah,
ever in that old pattern of thinking I won't
yes,
open this just now
yes.
because I don't need the bad news, and then I'm saying to myself, who tells you it's a bad news? And I
Right.
click open on that email, and Patrick, 9 out of 10 times is actually good news,
Wow.
right?
That you
And
would not know
absolute,
about
yes,
if you were
yes,
not open. And so that's a
absolutely.
small thing. Just being open to the possibility that maybe it's not bad news, maybe it's good news. Just the
Yes,
possibility. Like you said, give yourself permission to think that maybe it could be good.
yes,
Small,
yeah.
and that's small, but it can lead to something big.
definitely can, and definitely did in my life. I have mentioned before, but I want to quote Dr. Wayne Dyer again, because that thought that heard him say has helped me to create the
Mhm.
biggest change in my life, right?
Mhm.
Because certain times we need to hear certain words. We are ready for them. We are open
Yes,
for them.
yes,
So, because this was so significant in my life, I love changing. I love quoting this so
yes,
much, right? And
yes,
he said,
yes.
when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Wow.
And it really struck me in that moment.
Mhm.
I knew I wanted change. I didn't know how to go about that change. And the first place where I should achieve the change is in my thinking, right?
Yes,
I just needed to adjust my thought from this isn't possible to what if this is exactly the opportunity I was waiting for
yes, yes, yes.
previous
And
8
Katharina,
years,
it's
right?
it's a brilliant quote. And I think sometimes we can be tempted to just admire the quote and the brilliance of the quote.
Yes,
But I challenge
yes.
anyone who's listening right now, think of
Mm.
some one thing in your life you would like to change right now, and then apply that quote. If
Like
you
that.
look at it differently, if you look
Yes,
at it differently, you can change that thing. I,
absolutely. And what goes
wow.
hand in hand with this is, have you ever had that that you heard that sometimes things are out of our control,
Right, right,
right? That always is setting us up as well to not achieve what we want, but to achieve the
right.
opposite of what we want.
Hmm.
Yes? So if
Feeling
we,
powerless.
again, feeling powerless, instead of instead of thinking that we don't have the control over the
Hmm.
situation, start assuming the control of every outcome in our life, right? So it can be something that absolutely depends on another person, but if our expectation inside ourselves, we don't even need
Hmm.
to communicate this with other person, but
Hmm.
if we imagine to ourselves, okay, my boss or whoever today is going to impact my mood in any way, I'm going to imagine them waking up and having a great day, right? That will
Yes.
have to affect the way they
Yes.
behave towards me. And that thing that usually they come and they appear like,
Hmm.
on the edge of,
Yes.
they
Yes.
don't want to deal with certain things. They always push that in our direction and we feel powerless in that situation. It can change just like that, just by
Yes.
little adjustment of our expectation, not to mention if we adjust our attitude. But when
Yeah.
we're willing to accept responsibility for outcomes in our life, for the way that they will make us feel, we actually gain control over the way we are feeling, the way we are experiencing life, the
I
way we're
I love
defining
I love that particular one, Katerina, of
life.
taking responsibility for everything that happens in your life. Because
Yes,
it
yes,
seems like what we're saying to people is say it's your fault. So for
yes,
everything that happens
yes,
in your life, say
yes.
this is my fault.
I
And
am
that might seem like a
responsible
bad
for
thing,
it.
but
Yes,
but what we're actually doing is we're slipping power in their pocket. It's like, but they don't realize it.
well,
When you take
yes.
responsibility, it's a little gift of power that you're giving yourself without really noticing it. Because if you're responsible, that means you could have done something to change it. And so with that responsibility, you also get power.
Mm.
Subtle.
I'm glad you said that. And if control or power are not your words, or feeling that that there isn't any element of fault,
Hmm.
because I really don't believe that there is anything or anyone to blame, including
Hmm.
yourself, right? Just say, I am responsible for how I feel today, and nothing that happens on my path will alter my expectation to keep myself today in this
Hmm.
state of being. That's it. That's it. Do you feel the power in those words?
I absolutely do. And listening to you say them, you feel the power in it. Yes, yes.
Yes.
And that feels
Yes.
great.
That's
That
good.
feels
Really
great.
good. And that helps you then tomorrow to get up and say, I want to do more of what I have done
Mhm.
yesterday. And you are, all of a sudden you find yourself in a different momentum, in a different place in your head. You have cleared your thoughts, all of that sort of annoying and sometimes even negative chatter in your head has been
Mm.
eliminated. You have pushed it to one side, and now you embrace this opportunity that you have created for yourself. And then you realize at one point it was always me standing in my way. It was
Right,
never someone
right.
else saying you cannot do that, right? It was me
Right.
agreeing I was powerless here, right?
Yes. Yes. That is so
Yes.
beautiful.
Just because even if someone said it to me, you can't fly, it was my
Mhm.
responsibility to say I can, or even not
Right.
even to say
Right.
it, but to remain with this positive outlook inside me. If I
Mhm.
want to, I can fly. I absolutely can, right?
Once again, it's just a small shift. And in that one, I hear just the having fun part. Just have fun with
Mm,
life. Like sometimes we
absolutely.
hold life like that, and we're saying just
Yes,
loosen it up and have a little fun. And you'd be surprised what comes
exactly.
into your experience when you do that.
Amazing things happen when you are in the playful state of being. When you put your child lens, and here's the thing, we all still are connected with the child inside
Hmm.
us.
Yes.
Am I right? Right? You
Yes.
still feel that little boy that had all of those big dreams. I know you're connected with that part of self. I am too. It's easy to step into that way of being
Mhm.
again. As I said, as we in testing mode, just in testing mode,
Yeah.
don't have any expectation on yourself. Just play, 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 and have
Wow.
fun, and
You
see
said
how
we
different life will feel and become.
right.
Mm.
You make a great point, and it's immediate. It's immediately obvious. We were all children at one point, and we all
Yes.
had that. It's just that life
Mm.
starts piling things on, and we start carrying these things. But wow, if
And
we
we
could
let
just
go
allow
of our
ourselves,
inner child. Yes.
right, right, but allow that inner child to come back
Mm.
into your experience. Wow, that's beautiful.
Because I bet that inner child had some gumption, had some
Yes, yes,
belief in themselves more than you
yes.
do as your adult serious
Yes.
self.
Yes. Yes. Katharina, would you share the story about the dad who was bullied and he lost his bike and the girl, his daughter said, I should have been there.
Yes. Absolutely. That's a sweet story, and it's a true story. The dad in question is my dad. He was very creative from an early age. His brother was a train driver, so he was responsible for operating these big engines, and sometimes he would bring home things that really fired up my dad's imagination. So he was only 8 years old when he got these two wheels that were like that size. They were colorful, they were metal, really heavy iron, and he thought, what can I create with these wheels? He begged his brother if he could use them to create something, until the point that his brother said, okay, I'm just going to see what you can create with them, you may have them. And my dad set about creating this scooter,
Scooter.
yes, for himself, that you would push, and created a real scooter. And these two bigger boys really liked the scooter, right? And it wasn't enough for them that my dad was sharing it and playing with them, so they had to lure him out of the place where they lived into
Oh,
the mountains, right, to actually steal his scooter, because they were bigger and they were bullies, and they
yeah.
They left him there, and at that point in time he wasn't so confident in himself. He was scared, and he would tell me the story, and I would feel that I wanted to be there to help him. And because I was so small, I didn't actually realize, that the age difference, or how this works. I haven't figured it out. And this pure desire came out of me, to help him. So I told him with tears in my eyes, I said, "Why didn't you take me with you? Because I would hold your hand and make you feel not scared." So then he had to explain to me how things worked, and I could see that his mood also changed to
Yes.
a happier mood,
Yes.
because obviously he didn't want to make me sad with the story.
Mhm.
But
You kn-
the point that we're trying to make here is that my dad had a playful spirit inside him, and he
Mhm.
followed that throughout his life.
Yes.
And it
You,
was this
you,
playful spirit that created magnificent things.
you
Go
know what
ahead,
else
sir.
I see in that story is you were a child when you heard the story. You didn't
Yes.
realize the boundaries of time that prevented you from being there. You weren't scared of the bullies. That didn't scare you away from being there. You just had this
So,
love and desire to help your father, and you wanted to be there. like who knows what you could have done, but out of love and a desire to help, you wanted to be there. And I guess what I would say is, don't be so smart that you think this can't be done. Like you
yes,
were a
that it is
child and you just
impossible.
wanted to do it. You wanted to be there. Sometimes we're too smart for our own good. Just play with it. Allow
We
that
still
child to
have
come
that
out.
child inside us. Yes, that's what
Yes.
I'm hearing you say. We were that child once again, and we still
Hmm.
are in certain respects.
Yes.
And we can
Yes.
use now this the savvy that our adult self has,
Yes.
that childlike
Wow.
spirit. So we can actually
Wow.
get the best of both worlds.
Right.
We get
Right.
to act
Wow.
on our childlike imagination.
Hmm.
We have to let our child be free.
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
Once again,
It's,
small shift. These are not
yeah,
huge changes
tiny,
that we're asking you to make,
tiny shift, tiny,
but
tiny.
they can take you on a different path. And then I love that word you used earlier, give you some momentum. Doesn't
Yes,
momentum feel great? Like you haven't
feels
even
great. And
arrived
it's in
yet,
the
but you
right
see
direction.
yourself.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
momentum feels
absolutely.
great. And so
I
you
want to
build up that
illustrate.
momentum.
Yes,
Yes.
I want to illustrate something for you and for those who are listening to us in these talks. Imagine that your comfort zone is this little ring, tiny ring around yourself, so around your physical body. Imagine that there is a little ring drawn, right? Your biggest change, your biggest transformation isn't somewhere miles away. It is just one step outside that ring that you have drawn around yourself and where you're keeping yourself just there. So be willing today to make just one step, just step out of that circle where you have
Wow.
yourself. And I know it feels comfortable, and it may seem what is here, it's so scary, and you're still so close to that comfort. Should you need to go back, right?
Yes, yes.
Just one foot out.
You can still see
And
it. It's still within reach.
absolutely. But if it pleases you what you're finding, then tomorrow you're going to move just a
A
little
little
bit
more, a
further
little more. Yes,
and
yes,
keep going in that direction. So you don't need to leap somewhere, I don't know, in the
right.
unknown. You
Yes,
still stay connected with everything that you have, but you have given yourself now permission to explore, to set yourself on an adventure, right? And God
right,
knows what can come out of that
right, right.
station,
You
out of
start
that attitude.
creating, you start creating these new normals for yourself.
Yes, 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 yes. So
Wow,
be willing
wow.
to change your thoughts first of all, right? Be willing
Hmm.
to say to yourself today, what if what I am expecting is holding me where I am? What if this isn't helping me to go further? So be willing to
Right,
change your
right,
thinking first, and then observe what inspiration and what action you will be inspired to take out of
right.
changing your thoughts, and those actions will then produce wonderful state of beings,
Yes.
wonderful feelings
Yes.
inside you that you will want to explore and go further, and you will be reconnected then all of a sudden with this part of you that you have forgotten, that
Right.
we all have inside us, and that is our inner child,
Yeah.
that was curious, that was brave, that was fierce in their
Yes.
belief that they can reach every dream they have,
Wow,
right?
we come with that belief intact. I want to say
Yes.
this too. If you look
Mm,
around you, you can see it in nature. You can also see it in the things that we have constructed as humans. And what you'll
yes.
notice is that nothing great,
Mm,
not a great company, not a great person, a person's legacy,
mhm.
nothing great was accomplished in 1 to 3 steps. It's all
Yes.
gradual. And so
Yes.
sometimes we can see how large the thing is that we want, and we get
Mm,
intimidated or get scared because we can't make one giant step toward that thing. But that's not how it works. It's just little steps that gradually take you there, and that's manageable. It's something you can do, and it's there's something you can do today, right now, that'll move you closer to it, and just keep doing that.
absolutely. I love when you say that there is always the power today in this
Mhm,
moment
mhm.
to take that first action, to take that first step, to make that commitment to yourself, right? Write it
Yes,
down.
yes.
Write down today. Don't even share it with anyone. Just write down
Mhm.
what you really want, what you felt inspired, what was triggered in your memory when you were a child. If you were listening to us live or
Right.
recording, it doesn't matter. If you listen through to this
Oh, yeah.
point, something was triggered inside.
Yes, yes, yes. I'll bet you
Write that
remember it.
down and act on that.
Yes.
Mm.
And I would say take that first step, but then also take that first step seriously. Don't think
Yes.
that because it's just one small step that it's insignificant. If you add
Yes.
10 more to it, suddenly it becomes bigger, and add 10 more to that, or just one more, gradually it
Mm.
becomes that thing. And then you start to
Yes.
develop momentum. And with momentum, confidence. And with confidence, belief. And now you're on your way.
Now you have created a change. You have created a new version of yourself that is so much more empowered to actually take you all the way to your dreams, because you
Yes.
deserve to live your dreams. You were born to live your dreams, and you are
Yes.
absolutely able to reach all of your
Yes.
dreams.
Yep.
We're
For
just
free.
offering a little bit of inspiration for free.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Yep. You can do it. That's all we're here to tell you, is that you can do it. And we just want to give
You
you a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of information that can help you get there.
Exactly. And a little bit of a nudge in the right direction when you need
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you
Yes.
so much. Thank you for today. And thank you, dear friends, for tuning in and listening. Uh, Please leave us your comments. They were so wonderful last week, and we really appreciate all of
Yes.
your
Yes.
comments. We appreciate when you tell us that you are already living this life, and when you take it a step further from what we are saying. We love that. And also share with us if this is inspiring you, or if you're feeling a little scared, or if you need extra encouragement, because we want to
Yes.
give it to you as well.
Yes.
So let us know how this lands for you.
Please
And
do.
Patrick, shall we be back next Monday to talk more about this?
Let's do it. Let's do it. This is fun. Thank you so much for joining me here.
Thank you. Thanks so much. And we will see you next